Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with Craig. I've been getting a lot of comments. It seems like no matter what the topic is, I keep getting questions about, ammunition, the ammunition ban. I keep getting questions about the magazine ban. I keep getting questions about, bullet button and what's going to be legal and what's not going to be legal. And, I think I just wanted to kind of break it down to you guys in terms of where everything is at right now. And I think I've already kind of told you that if anyone tells you that they know for sure what is going to happen and when, that they're probably not telling you the truth unless they're the ones that have actually written the regs themselves. One of the things that happens is after everything becomes law, after Prop 63 passed, after the gunpocalypse bills passed, with all of that, the Department of Justice is then tagged with creating regulations. Regulations are how these things are going to be implemented. What is the interpretation? How are we going to take the stuff that came from the legislature and the stuff that came from the initiative and actually implement it and put it into practice? For example, we're supposed to register our ARs with if they have the bullet button. If we don't change anything on it, we're supposed to register them as assault weapons. Well, guess what? How do we do that? Ammunition registry. We're supposed to be purchasing ammunition. When we purchase it, we're supposed to be now on a registry. There's supposed to be a background check. What exactly does that look like? Do we have to apply for a permit? Do we simply pay at the time and then we get our instant background check? How exactly is the instant background check going to work? And then there's the magazines. Well, okay, so now possession of a magazine is now going to be a crime. So what does that mean? Okay, what does it mean? If I need to get rid of them, what does it mean? See, here's the issue. So the first set of regulations that have been put forward are those dealing with the magazine ban. Now, one would think that that's because, well, that was probably the easier one to deal with. So what is it that the Department of Justice does? Well, they decide they're going to issue emergency regulations. Emergency regulations, which is another way of saying we're going to issue horseshit. Think about it. Let's break this down real quick. Those of you who've taken the time to actually sit down and actually read the emergency regulations are going to learn one thing, that none of them have to do with any law that was just recently passed. Absolutely nothing. Think about it. The only thing that it deals with is how to modify them. Now, I want you to go back. I want you to read Prop 63. I want you to go back. I want you to go back and I want you to read SB 1446. And you tell me where it talks about modifying magazines. It's not there. Those now do deal with the law that did pass. Back in 1999, right? Back in 1999, that's when the original assault weapons ban was passed in the state of California, which included, by the way, standard capacity magazines. That was, I think it was SB 23. SB 23, that was the bill. So it deals with that one. Now, the regs also speak to magazine conversion kits, which, oh, by the way, still have yet to be defined. What is a magazine conversion kit, right? But that bill passed in 2013. That was a Skinner bill. So what in these regulations deal with what we're dealing with right now? Do you know what? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. If it was such an emergency, why didn't they deal with these? Why didn't these things come out when those laws passed? But you know what? Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say, well, maybe it's okay. Maybe, they're just finally getting to it and this was the appropriate time for them to do it. Wait. July 1st. July 1st was when SB 1146 was signed into law, I believe. So if that's the case, then they had 6 months to figure this out. 6 months. 6 months they could have put this stuff together. 6 months they could have had public comment. They could have gone all through all of the different steps that they needed to go through in order to put these regulations in place, allow for full public comment. But they didn't. But they didn't. They chose not to. So now they want to say that it's an emergency so that they can avoid that whole process. As I said before, this was the easy one. These were the easy regs for them to do. Now they've still got to deal. Now they've still got to deal with the bullet button. See, and here's what's so crazy about that. All they've done so far is they've told dealers you can't have any of these guns. If you do, you will be cited. They didn't tell them, well, what's the gun? What does it mean? What exactly does it look like? So if I take one of these devices, one of these aftermarket devices that have been created in order to address this, if I put that on there, does that then mean that it no longer meets that qualification? Nobody knows, not even the Department of Justice. We all know the California legislature didn't know when they passed it. We definitely know that Gavin Newsom didn't know when he passed it because he took a bunch of crap that the legislature and the governor already rejected and made it into law. So now you've got Gavin Newsom and you've got the California legislature all sent a steaming pile of chicken crap to the Department of Justice and told them to make chicken salad. And we all know there are no master chefs at the Department of Justice. So in the meantime, they're trying to figure out exactly what the heck they're going to do. At the same time, all of us are sitting around and we're wondering, okay, am I a criminal now? How about now? Am I a criminal now? I mean, but at what point? When am I officially a criminal? And that's what they're doing. That's where they've gotten us to. And that's, I think, is what their goal is. Their goal is to make it so ambiguous that people will be able to get arrested for all sorts of things, and we're not going to know until we go to court. Somebody's going to have to get arrested. Somebody's going to have to go to court. And somebody's going to have to fight. And the courts are going to be the ones that probably are more than likely going to have to decide what the hell the legislature thought they were doing. Anyway, that's my rant. I did want to make sure to say this. Now, we are working on a public comment period dealing with the ammunition regs. I want to encourage, the magazine, dealing with the magazine regs. We want to tell them that, look, there's no emergency here because you've written no regulations. So we want to encourage you, if you have not participated in the public comment section, public comment period, it ends tomorrow. We're going to be printing out everything. We're going to be taking it over to the Office of Administrative Law. We want to take it to the Department of Justice as well because you're supposed to take them to both. Worst case scenario, we'll wind up emailing all of your comments. We'll go via email to the Department of Justice. We'll ensure that they get over there, but we really are working on hand delivering them. We know that at least we'll be able to hand deliver them to the Office of Administrative Law. So we've made it real easy for you. All you have to do is go to firearmspolicy.org/mag regulations. That's firearmspolicy.org/mag regulations. When we're done with the video, we'll put the link in there for you. Go there. There's already a pre-designed letter for you. You can use that or you can write in your own comments. Press send and we will make sure that it gets over there for you. As a matter of fact, you'll get a chance to watch me do it tomorrow. So anyway, so that's that. Let me check and see what kind of comments you guys have. I can only imagine the wisdom that is flowing from this group because we know that y'all are the real thinkers here. Let's see. The legislature doesn't care. Last time I checked, America was a country built on freedom. Yes, it was a country built on liberty. Liberty. Freedom comes from liberty, but this is a country that is built on the concept of liberty. We are all criminals. We just don't know it yet. Oh, Chris, such a pessimistic view. Oh, I am a law-abiding citizen, as far as I know. Governor Jerry Brown needs to seriously go away. Okay, so here's the only thing I'll say about that. Whoever replaces him, especially if it's Gavin Newsom, will be far, far worse. So anyway, that's all I'll say about him. Prop 63 turns law-abiding citizens into criminals. Plain and simple. Chris, couldn't have said it better myself. The only time my AR will be an assault weapon is when they try to take it. Okay, I won't say who said that. I agree with the sentiment, my friend. I definitely agree with the sentiment. What about mags used for like Beowulf? A 10-round Beowulf is a 30-round AR mag. Once again, your question is probably a very well-founded question. And the only thing that I can tell you is, I don't know. anyone who tells you they don't know. They really, honestly, and truly don't know, because once again, the people who wrote the law don't know. They don't know shit about guns. The people who wrote the initiative, they definitely don't know shit about guns. And the Department of Justice, well, they know just enough to figure out how to get you in trouble. That's about it. So nobody really knows. And I can tell you that some of the best, most experienced firearms attorneys in the state are wrestling with trying to figure out exactly what it is that the Department of Justice is going to do. But I think they all pretty much agree that they'll find a way to screw it up. I hate this state. They legalized drugs and banned my rights. I hate the state legislature. I hate the governor for what they did. I hate the policies that they did. But I love California. I was born and raised here. And I think that's the reason why me and so many other ardent patriots, so many gun owners, so many people who believe in our constitutional rights, all of them stay here. And that's why we stay here and fight, because, you know, hey, this is our home. And we're not willing to give it up so easily. California DOJ are criminal enforcers. Yes, they are. They seem to spend most of their time going after law-abiding citizens and business owners, and very little time going after criminals. In fact, they just want to let them loose. The Supremes won't save us. That's from Steve. You know, it all depends. Understand that it takes a while for a case to make it from being filed all the way to the Supreme Court. That takes a while, and it's a long, drawn-out process. And it'd be nice to believe that we could just go to them and say, ask a simple question, but it never quite works out that way. Remember, even if we replaced Scalia with a clone, someone just like him who believed exactly what he believed on the Second Amendment, that would still be the Supreme Court that refused to take hardly any Second Amendment cases since McDonald. So you got to understand that, first of all, you got to get a majority of people who actually want to rule on these cases. So we're going to need not just one new Supreme Court justice, we're going to need multiple Supreme Court justices just to get the cases heard, let alone adjudicated in a proper fashion. Eric says, thank you for all your efforts. You are quite welcome. Alexander, Brown and Newsom need to be in prison, away from society. They are criminally insane. Well, I'll let that be your commentary. I won't disagree or agree. Well, I'll agree. Did I say I agree? Okay, yeah, I'll agree. Where do we go here? I've watched live feeds of our state representatives in session, and they themselves said they don't have the money or manpower to enforce the laws. And, you know, I think that's one of the things that's important for people to understand, in particular with what came out of Prop 63. You know, the members of the California legislature and the governor and the Department of Justice already said that these things were going to be entirely too expensive. A lot of these things that they're looking to enforce, they don't have the resources, intellectual resources or actual monetary resources in order to enforce these unconstitutional laws. That's a problem. But it's a problem that the California legislature doesn't care about because, well, hey, it's not their problem because they don't like guns. Oh, and they don't like people who do. Anyway, that's it for today's Coffee with Craig. Once again, want to encourage you, please go to firearmspolicy.org/mag regulations. Make sure to get your comments in, and we'll deliver them tomorrow. Anyway, you folks take care, and we'll look forward to coffee again tomorrow morning. If you like these updates, please share them with your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel.